How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Casual Gamer. Today I just wanted to do a video, a quick video on my thoughts for The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum that was announced a little while ago. And for those of you who haven't watched the Rings of Power Season 2 trailer reaction breakdown video that I did, channel's mostly about gaming, but when it comes to Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Warhammer, IPs that I really like, I'll branch out and give my thoughts on some of this stuff and reactions to some of this stuff. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I love the movies. I even love The Hobbit. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that or like to hate on The Hobbit. And there is a lot of stuff to hate about those movies. But ultimately, I think those movies are still great. And I've spent thousands on Lord of the Rings stuff. Middle-earth strategy battle game, United Cutlery props, statues, all kinds of stuff. Have a lot of the books, but I'll be the first to admit I'm not, all knowledgeable about the franchise. To some of my friend group, I am, but there's a lot of people online that know way more than I do and can recall a lot of information from the books on the top of their head that I cannot. But sorry, this thing was messing with my mic. But that being said, I'm excited for the War of the Rohirrim movie supposed to be coming out this December. And I'm excited to see a trailer for that, hopefully soon. But The Hunt for Gollum is a live action movie, which gets me a little more excited because we get to, obviously see Andy Serkis come back as Gollum. And we know that Peter Jackson, Philippa Boyens, Fran Walsh, they're on board with the project, his team, right? And that gives me hope. Because I'm hoping that Warner Brothers doesn't decide to wokeify this as well and start to check boxes for their movies, especially if this is supposed to connect to the Lord of the Rings and kind of be part of that universe, their cinematic universe with it. Because if I was Warner Brothers, I'd be looking over at Amazon and seeing the dumpster fire that is and try to use this as my advantage. Hey, you guys who watched that show, sorry it left a bad taste in your mouth. Come over here. Come watch this movie. We're going to make you feel like you're actually back in Middle Earth and give you that feeling like you do when you or the feeling you have when you're watching The Fellowship of the Ring or The Two Towers or The Return of the King. Okay. Let's go ahead and just read this article real quick. And talk a little about that because I'm not really sure if Peter Jackson has said an interview about this or talked about this. So that's what I'm kind of curious about. And this article is off IGN. It says The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy's director Peter Jackson has teased that he, Andy Serkis, and Warner Brothers are looking to achieve with The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, saying they want to explore aspects of the character's past they didn't have time to cover in the previous 6 films. Speaking to Deadline, Jackson suggested the writers don't really know exactly what the film is about yet, as it's too soon to know who will cross Gollum's path, but said both sides of his personality will feature as this is how he connects with fans. The Gollum Smeagol character has always fascinated me because Gollum reflects the worst of human nature, whilst his Smeagol side is arguably quite sympathetic, Jackson said. I think he connects with readers and film audiences alike because there's a little bit of both of them in all of us. We really wanted to explore his backstory and delve into those parts of his journey we didn't have time to cover in earlier films. It's too soon to know who will cross his path, but suffice we'll take our lead from original author J.R.R. Tolkien. Little's known about the film, seemingly on the creator's side too, as it was only announced on May 9th, 2024, but Serkis is returning to direct and star as Gollum once again, which is a great thing. The Hunt for Gollum will be the first of 2 new Lord of the Rings films. Films from Jackson as Warner Brothers is hard at work fixing the largely underused franchise. I like how they word is fixing the largely underused franchise. Yeah, interesting verbiage. The Lord of the Rings were once a standalone trilogy, but okay. So all of this stuff is just talking. So it doesn't really give much other than a little bit more of what we already knew. I don't know if this movie, from what, obviously he's talking about more about Gollum and his backstory. I'm curious to know, really, are they going to focus mostly on Aragorn? And because my thought process is to make this movie a hunt, right? And kind of maybe even like a competition. Like you're going to have Aragorn, hunting down Gollum, obviously to learn information or all that stuff, but also some servant of Sauron that's also going to be maybe even potentially on the hunt. or hunting Aragorn. I don't know. But I think there's going to be more action in this than what is in the books, probably, with this particular story. But we'll have to see what they do. And I don't think until we get more information or a trailer, we'll really know. But I'm optimistic. The one thing that I'm really curious about, though, is Ian McKellen going to come back as Gandalf in this? You know, is Viggo Mortensen going to come back as Aragorn? I know a lot of people have been, you know, that Viggo's too old. You know, he's older than Ian McKellen was in the Fellowship. But personally, I would still prefer that Viggo was playing Aragorn. I think if you give him the outfit, the dark hair, obviously some makeup, whatever, to make him look like he did in the Fellowship, I think he's still going to look older, but I think most of us, a lot of us, at least I can look past that. Be like, okay, yeah, he's a bit older, but he is Aragorn, you know? And so I'm wondering if they did this as well, if they're going to go that route, if it's to like, hey, we don't really probably have much time left that we can use Ian McKellen and Viggo. Let's maybe do a movie where we can use them. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see when casting comes out, because if you get a new cast for Aragorn or Gandalf, it's going to open that question of, well, are they going to live up to Viggo and Ian? You know, are they going to be able to? And again, a lot of that goes to the trust of Peter Jackson and crew to make that determination. But we'll just have to see. So I'm curious to know, really, though, what your guys' thoughts are about this, what you guys would like to see. I know there's a lot of people that are very like on the fence with this. And I totally get that, especially with Rings of Power and kind of this new push to, you know, really use this franchise. There's always that risk that it just keeps falling off the trail. So we'll have to see. Let me know what you guys think. We can have a discussion of that in the comments. Some of you probably have great ideas or more knowledge about what can be done with this show or things like that. So let me know. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me, and I will see you guys on the next video.